In an ancient dystopian world where many tribes battled against each other for power, there was once a dark empire called Acheron that had crafted a mask and attained absolute power that let them rule over the mortal realm itself. All of the tribes got ensnared except for the barbarians, who took down Acheron alongside its king and shattered the evil mask into several pieces, turning it into a Lord of the Rings rip-off mask shard. To ensure that no one ever got their hands on all of the mask shards, the barbarians scattered them throughout the world, hidden from the human gaze. But ages later, a prophecy speaks of a man who will soon emerge, reassemble the mask, and rule over the world. Just as this revelation is bestowed upon mankind, a little baby boy named Conan is born on an intense battlefield, burdened to become the strongest of the barbarian warriors. The newborn child also gets prophesied to become a lookalike of beardless Jason Momoa. The child Conan soon grows up in the land of Cimmeria to become rather reckless in his teenage years, and as his everyday job, he causes trouble to everyone in his tribe, including his father Corin, who is the current tribe chief. Corin, of course, lets his mischievous son off every time, not only because he is highly biased, but also because he thinks that the boy is special. Even believing so, Corin gets second thoughts on his own beliefs and decides to put Conan's potential to the test to see if he actually has their tribe's warrior blood in him. For the test, Corin sends Conan and many other teenagers to a snow forest, instructing them to bring back an intact bird egg to win the test. While the fierce teenagers are busy doing their assigned tasks, a primitive tribe reveals themselves to be hiding under the heavy snow of the forest and becomes so alarmed seeing the harmless kids that they start attacking them. Although anyone sane would run away back home in this type of scenario, not Conan, who tries taking on the enemy tribe all by himself because he is completely mental and also the main character. Conan, of course, ruthlessly slaughters them all single-handedly and returns to the village, with all of the intruders' severed heads and an intact egg, making him the winner of the test. As a reward, Corin makes Conan his own sword, advising him to bond with his blade first before wielding it and teaching him the ways to master his swordsmanship. A few weeks later, another tribe called the Snake Cult comes with their army to invade Corin's land of Cimmeria and starts a brutal war, ending with the barbarians' chief Corin getting caught by the enemy leaders and right in front of Conan's eyes. Zim reveals his plan to reassemble the mask to Corin and claims to have gathered many shards already. He also reveals that Corin has one of the shards in his possession, so he demands it from him. But before Zim can force the shard from Corin, Conan sneaks in there and attacks Zim, hoping that his naive actions will save his father. But it doesn't because of how greatly outnumbered and outclassed the father and son are, and once both of them get captured by them, Zim starts torturing Corin by pouring melted lava on his face and makes Conan watch this vile scene. Zim's young daughter, Marique, who reveals herself to be a witch, finds the shard using her magical powers. Zim celebrates with his daughter as their goal is now achieved, and in the meantime, Conan tries saving his father, but ends up failing, and he watches his dad being melted down to his death helplessly. He swears to take revenge on Zim for murdering his father, and because he is still young, he first prepares himself for the next 20 long years. Just as the prophecy said, Conan transforms into beardless Jason Momoa and reveals to be working with a group of mercenaries. He goes on a raid with the mercenary group, and once they smoothly get it over with thanks to all the powerful Conan, they call a celebratory feast at the nearby city. There, Conan gets busy getting completely wasted, and a familiar face shows up, making Conan all sober as he realizes that this familiar face is Zim's subordinate Lucius. Lucius from the Snake Cult reveals to be looking for a certain thief named Ela Shan, and once Conan figures out who that is, he starts acting like Ela's accomplice and deliberately gets captured with Ela by Lucius's army. Both he and Ela get taken to a prison, where he makes his way through the prison territory by means of brute force and corners Lucius in his own cabin. He starts torturing Lucius to get information out of him about Zim's current whereabouts, and as he learns that Zim hasn't managed to unlock the mask's true potential yet because he doesn't possess the pure blood of the evil empire Acheron, and since Zim is not powerful yet, Conan decides to exact his revenge before Zim gets his hands on the mask's true powers. But before that, Conan first murders Lucius ruthlessly with the help of other prisoners, letting them have some fun as well, and then reunites with his mercenary group. Meanwhile, at a monastery, a woman named Tamarra, who is actually a descendant of Acheron, learns from a visionary that a man worthy of being beside her will soon take her back to Acheron to fulfill her destiny. At the same time, Zim comes there alongside his army, looking for Tamarra and causes wreckage everywhere. Tamarra disguises herself to be someone from the snake cult and quickly escapes alone from the monastery, as only her life matters. As her carriage with snake marks all over it reaches a forest nearby, Conan, who is just passing by, assumes naturally that it is his enemy. But once he eventually realizes that Tamarra is an enemy of his, and sees that she is being chased by the snake cult, he makes her his friend, saves her from them, and chases down their group leader, Remo. The Q-Witch daughter of Zim from 20 years ago reveals herself to be quite ugly now, from both the inside and the outside, and ruthlessly starts slaughtering every woman at the monastery. Zim locates the hiding visionary Fasser and accuses him of getting his wife murdered for some fanatic prophecy. And as Fasser even attempts to defend his reasoning, Zim slays him and continues his mission to look for the pureblood. On the other hand, Conan finally defeats Remo and takes him captive to get him to spill the beans about Zim. Tamarra reveals to Conan that she is the last pureblood of Actron and asks for his help to get her back to her homeland. But Conan has other plans and decides to use Tamarra as bait to get to Zim and begins his journey to Zim's hidden camp. When they reach the camp, Conan sends Remo directly to Zim's camp base, giving him a message as well, claiming that he has Tamarra with her. So Zim and Marique go to meet Conan and try to negotiate his way to buy Tamarra from him. But Conan refuses, so Marique uses her summoning magic and overpowers Conan with her summoned soldiers. Zim patiently waits like all of the typical dumb villains, while Conan struggles with fighting Marique's summoned soldiers. He defeats every single one of them, and Zim finally steps up to defeat him himself. Marique helps her dad by poisoning Conan, but just as Zim is about to murder him, Tamarra intervenes in the battle and rescues Conan out of there. The two regroup with Conan's mercenary friend Artis at his ship, but the snake cult snakes their way there as well and causes a complete wreckage. But Conan, with his great swordsmanship, defeats them all and saves the day just after coming out as a loser against Zim. Conan decides to recontinue his journey again and tells Tamarra to stay behind with Artis's crew, as things will only become more dangerous from now on. But before taking his leave, he first puts his eggs inside her eggs, thinking that she is Emilia Clarke, and after sleeping with her for hours, he sleeps with her. Tamarra wakes up first and gets up to leave, as she didn't enjoy their sleeping session much. But as she starts passing through the forest near the cave, Marique captures her and takes her back to Zim's kingdom. Conan realizes that Tamarra has indeed been candled, but instead of going to rescue her, he first goes to the City of Thieves, looking for the thief from before, Ilashan. After convincing Ilashan to become his partner on his mission to rescue Tamarra, they both head out straight for Zims Fortress. With the thief's guidance, the duo finds a hidden underground entrance to the fortress, while Tamarra learns from Marique that she will have to bear Zim's children, as that is the only way to create someone worthy of wearing the mask. However, Tamarra's eggs are already taken by Conan's eggs, so she humbly declines Marique's offer and tells her to murder her instead. So, Marique comes up with another solution, which is to use her blood to awaken the mask and restrain her in shackles to execute her idea. In the meantime, Conan and Ilashan make their way through an underground dungeon and come across a hidden prison of the snake cult, where there are literally giant snakes feasting on the prisoners. Conan, of course, being the hero, doesn't mind his own business, destroys the guards alongside the snakes, and saves all of the prisoners from their eventual deaths. Afterwards, he parts ways with Ilashan as he has now successfully infiltrated Zims Fortress and keeps heading towards the confined Skull Cave where Tamarra is currently being held. The snake cult reveals himself to be doing cult stuff with Tamarra, and as Zim successfully awakens the mask using Tamarra's blood, he wears it and starts citing a ritual to gain its powers. But Conan, of course, doesn't just let him do whatever he wants and starts murdering all of the cult members one after another. Consequently, the barbarian warrior and the evil mediocre masked guy have their last fight, while Tamarra battles for her own life against Marique. Of course, the villains don't get whatever they want, so Tamarra, who doesn't have a weapon, survives against the magical witch for long enough to make Conan intervene. He slices off her hand, pushes her off the edge and murders her. Now that the only main villain is alive, all that is left is for Conan to exact his final revenge. In a fierce and intense fight, he showcases his true raw power against Zim, and after defeating him, he makes the blunder by leaving him alive. Zim finds out that his daughter is dead, and that sense of anger helps him acquire the powers of the mask, which he uses to get control over Tamarra's body. But Conan notices that they are standing on a very fragile bridge that is very conveniently placed on top of a melting lava river. So Conan uses his quick wit and makes Zim fall to his death, and he exacts his perfect revenge by making him die by being melted in lava, just like Conan did. Conan then leaves the falling fortress with Tamarra and lives happily ever after without her, because Jigga Chads do not waste their lives with women. That's it for this video, guys. If you like this one, let me know in the comments, and kindly give this video a like and subscribe to our channel so we can bring you more exciting and fun movie recaps. See you next time.